Hey guys, I'm so happy to see you again. I had a few requests from you guys to read about the Radiator spring screw, so I'm gonna do it first right now from the Meet the Cars book. So let's read about the Radiator spring screw. Let's see which cars are described here in this book. First, we will read about Mater, and as you see, Mater is in different forms. So this is his classical form, old and rusty Mater. Mater's vehicle type is Holital Hookem. Mater is a good old car with a big heart, and he is the only tow truck in Radiator Springs. Mater runs Tow Mater Towing and Salvage and manages the local impound lot. Though a little rusty, he has the quickest tow rope in Carburetor County and is always the first to lend a helping hook. Mater doesn't have a mean bolt on his chassis. He's seen the bright side of any situation. Radiator Springs just wouldn't be the same without him. Mater's not only McQueen's best friend, but he's also his biggest fan. He is there for McQueen following his big crash. Even when McQueen is on the road, Mater is always only a phone call away. And he drive across the country to cheer on his best buddy at the race. Okay, here we have Tokyo Mater. In the car's tune, Tokyo Mater gets a blue paint job and modifications before he takes part in a Tokyo drift race. Here we have Dracula Mater. In Cars 2, Mater asks a simulator to turn him into a monster truck, and this is how he emerges. Now here we have Mater the Greater. In the Cars tune Mater the Greater, Mater appears in this red, white, and blue paint job as a daredevil stunt car. Okay, next we will be reading about Sally. Sally's vehicle type is 2002 Porsche Carrera. Sally is the heart and soul of Radiator Springs. Although she's always busy running the Cozy Cone Motel and Wheel Well Inn, she still finds time to check in on everybody in Radiator Springs, though Sally would follow Lightning McQueen to the ends of the earth. Yes, she really loves him. And right here we have Sheriff. His vehicle type is 1949 Mercury Police Cruiser. There's a long history of law enforcement in Sheriff's family. His father was a traffic cop. So were his aunt, his uncle, his two cousins on his mother's side, and his little brother. Even his grandfather was a traffic cop in New York around the turn of the century. Sheriff always knew he too would be a cop. After all, how many other options did he have with a name like Sheriff? That's funny. So his whole family was police officers. And here we have Sarge. His vehicle type is 1942 Willis Army Jeep. WWII Willys Army Jeep. Sarge loves to tell stories about his daring fearlessness in the military. One time, a tank friend of his lost a belt in the Battle of the Bulge, and Sarge towed him to safety. For his bravery, Sarge received the Grill Badge of True Metal. This and medals like it are displayed front and center at Sarge's surplus hut, right next to Sarge's very own Mother Road survival kit. He guarantees that if you break down, his kit will get you through the night or the next World War. Even better, it all stows nicely in your truck. So he's a true military guy. Now, let's read about Fillmore. And Fillmore's vehicle type is 1960 Volkswagen Bus. Fillmore is Radiator Springs' resident hippie. A believer in individuality and all things natural, he brews his own organic fuel and preaches about its many benefits. Visitors can try Fillmore's special flavors in the tasting room behind his love bead and tie-dye covered geodesic dome. His many conspiracy theories and naturally unkempt yard drive his neighbor Sarge absolutely crazy. Okay, here we have Ramone in two outfits, and Ramone's vehicle type is 1959 Chevrolet Impala. A true artist isn't afraid to take chances, to explore new ways to express himself, or to push the limits of culture. Ramone believes that the automotive body can be a vehicle of expression. Every day gives him an opportunity to explore new paint jobs and to push the limitless boundaries of his art. He's a very artistic car. And here, Ramone look is Saludos Amigos Ramone. Ramone dons a new paint job as he cheers on Cruise and Lightning at Willie's butt. Flo. Flo's vehicle type is 1950s show car. Flo first arrived in Radiator Springs as a touring Motorama girl in 1950s. She was headed west with a group of models when her chaperone had fuel pump problems outside of town. Flo and the other show car girls spent an unforgettable night in Radiator Springs. While she was there, Flo's paint got scratched. But when she went to Ramone's for a paint job, he refused to give her one. It wasn't because he was too good to paint her, but because she was too good to be painted. When the girls left, Flo stayed. She and Ramone have been together ever since. They are a really sweet couple. Now, we read about Red, and his vehicle type is 1950s Torchy Truck Company fire truck. Red may not be a fire truck of many words, but what he doesn't say he shows through his generous actions. Whether it's putting out a tire fire or caring for the beautiful flowers of Radiator Springs, Red is there to support and protect his beloved town. Red takes negative comments about his town very personally. So, if you have something bad to say about Radiator Springs, you'd better watch out, because if there's one thing Red is not afraid of, it's his emotions. Okay, here we have Lizzie, and her vehicle type is 1923 Ford Model T two-door sedan. When Lizzie rolled into Radiator Springs, it was love at first sight, love for the town itself and for Stanley, the town's founder. But she kept Stanley on a soft shoulder for a month. Then one day, Lizzie realized that Stanley's vision for a new oasis in the desert had become her dream too. From that day on, they became the heart and soul of the town, and a couple who were never apart. And here's Stanley. We only have his statue in the Radiator Springs. His vehicle type is Mack Vaporlock Motor Company Locomobile. The statue of Stanley marks the very spot where Radiator Springs was founded. As he traveled west searching for a place to settle and make his fortune, Stanley stumbled upon a natural spring. He stopped to fill his radiator and never left. Soon afterwards, Stanley met Lizzie, the love of his life. Together, they founded the town of Radiator Springs, which soon became a legendary resting spot for travelers. Okay, let's see who else is in Radiator Springs. Of course, we have our old-time Bessie, Frank, and the tractors. Bessie. Her vehicle type is basic service equipment road paving machine. Bessie is Radiator Springs' resident road paving machine. Everyone agrees she's a low-maintenance gal, but more than one unsuspecting hitcher has learned her quirks the hard way. Doc likes to say laying asphalt with Bessie is more like dancing than paving. Fill her with kerosene, gravel, and tar, and she'll produce the most beautiful ribbon of blacktop you've ever laid rubber on. But you don't want to pull her too fast or get her steamed up. Bessie carries 2 huge buckets of molten tar, and she knows how to use them. Just ask Lightning McQueen. Yeah, he really knows. Because he felt it on his skin. Now let's read about this Frank, and his vehicle type is XXL Metro Actual Combine. Frank is a hard worker. He spends his days in the fields harvesting, threshing, and cleaning grain. Then it's off to oversee the tractor's work for the rest of the afternoon. By the end of his long day, Frank is ready to power down for the night and prepare for the early morning ahead. So, if you're planning to wake Frank, you'd better have a good reason to, or a really good escape route. Because he really wants to rest at night. He doesn't want to be bothered by Mater and others. Tractor's vehicle type is Axle Chomper's 4-cylinder, diesel-powered, easily frightened transmission. Tractors are hard workers. They enjoy what they do, plowing through the fields on a nice day and then falling asleep in the moonlight. But every so often, they wake up to the sounds of snorting and giggling in the distance, and they find themselves lying on their backs, staring up at the stars. But they don't mind. It's actually kind of nice to sleep lying down for a change. So those were the tractors. Okay, let's read about Edwin Cranks. Edwin Cranks vehicle type 1944 Piedmont Hawser. Edwin was a creature of habit. Regular oil checks, dinner for one at Flo's every night, and a new coat of tan paint every year. Then a weekend with some old college buddies led to an unforgettable night. He got a shocking metal flake green paint job. To his horror, no one in town could stop staring at him, but to his surprise, admirers couldn't stop staring either. Edwin's habits didn't change too much after that, though dinner at Flo's every night became dinner for two, so he found himself a nice girlfriend. Derek DeCals Dobbs. His vehicle type is Hollis-Mobile Rumbler. Derek DeCals Dobbs came to Radiator Springs to find work with his old pal Ramone, touching up paint jobs and giving much-needed facelifts. Derek not only paints cars, but he also paints murals. He did a beautiful mural on the side of one of the town's shops, declaring Radiator Springs a happy place. Yes, and he looks like a happy little car. Otis. Vehicle type 1972 Shyster Kremlin. Otis is not stranger to the tow hook in Radiator Springs. He's broken down more times than Mater's cousin Bessie after she got left at the altar. He's an old jalopy who wasn't quite up to snuff even when he left the factory, and life's been a challenge ever since. New parts are not available, and he's reached the limit on his roadside service card. In fact, Ramone has repaired him almost weekly for the past few months. Poor Otis just wants to spend some time on the open road, trouble-free. Okay, let's see, who is this guy? It's Dustin Mellows, and vehicle type of Dustin is Emery Craft delivery truck. Dustin Mellows was a delivery truck for trophy spark plugs in 1950s. The mild-mannered van had a monthly route that took him through Radiator Springs. On one of his regular stops in town, Dustin had a near head-on collision with one of the locals. It all worked out, though. The two cars fell in love and moved to the nearby suburb of Cooperville, where they are now enjoying a relaxing retirement together. Dustin Mellows. Alarm clock. Alarm clock's vehicle type is 1960s novelty clock car. When Sally redid her motel, she wanted every guest who stayed there to wake up with a smile. This original novelty alarm clock car from the 1960s really did the trick. Okay, let's read about Timothy Time Zone. Vehicle type, Emery Craft Zinger. Hot on the trail of suspected bank robbers, bounty hunter Timothy Time Zone found himself in a sleepy town of Radiator Springs, where he interviewed the locals at Flo's for hours. Ultimately, it was a trip from Luigi that led him to an abandoned silver mine on the outskirts of Carburetor County. There, he single-handedly apprehended the notorious Gasket Gang. It seems the Gasket Gang burned through a lot of tires on their high-speed getaways. Okay, right here we have Greta. Her vehicle type is Bruchman Salmon Super Sport. Greta decided to get a full-body makeover and a hot new flame job at Ramone's house of body art. One night, she went to see the renowned body shop quartet, the Rumbles. The baritone Chet was an old traffic school teacher Greta hadn't seen in years, so she wanted to look her best. And the last car we will be reading about from Radiator Springs is Mildred Bylane, and her vehicle type is 1944 Oldsmobile Driftwood. Mildred Bylane first passed through Radiator Springs in the 1940s as part of a publicity tour. When she accidentally swerved into a bed of flowers, she found herself rescued by none other than the town's shyest resident, Red. When Mildred's job called her overseas, but she left Red a single flower to remember her by. To this day, he keeps her memory alive by caring for the descendants of that very flower. Wow, so now we discovered that Mildred Bylane was Red's love. He loved her. Alright guys, so these cars were the Radiator Springs crew cars. And in my next video, I will be reading about the Demolition Derby racers, which is going to be lots of fun. So please make sure to check out that video as well. Thank you very much. Bye.